Okay, I'm going to start with a look at my compact Filofax. This is a compact Luxe and it has 15mm rings, so they're very, very tiny. The edges of the Filofax are much closer to the edge of the paper. There's no spare anything, and obviously because of the size of the rings, the Filofax is much, much thinner than a regular Filofax would be. This works for me because if I have a big Filofax, I will stuff it. Stuff it and stuff it and stuff it until I need another Filofax. I'm much better off having a small one. Now, because this is small, I'm using it as my daily planner, just for general planning, as in, you know, day to day, I'm working then, I'm doing this then, I'm doing that then, that sort of thing. Okay, so inside it's got a pen loop with an elastic. Now, when I first got this pen loop was ridiculously tight. I couldn't get anything into it, but I forced something into it one day, and it seems to have expanded a bit because it's quite easy to use now. I don't have any problems with it, as long as I don't try and put a gel grip pen, like a friction pen where it's got rubberized around it. It just won't go in. It's not happening. But if it's, you know, just an ordinary ballpoint or something, that fits quite happily, and this is what I use mostly to write with in here anyway. So in here you've got 4 credit card slots and an extra piece here. I just use this for bits of paper that I need to do something with. So for instance, if I'm out and about and I pick up a leaflet or have a printout or something, or a receipt or something, I'll shove it in there, and then when I get home I'll sort it into where it needs to be. So this is very temporary, I don't use it for anything much. Because this is leather, it is actually expanding over time, and the fabric is quite stretchy, so it is expanding, and this pocket is getting bigger. All these pockets were so tight I couldn't get anything in or out of them originally, because I started using this as a wallet, and these were too small for my cards. Just couldn't get them in or out. So yes, these I'm now using. I've got post-it notes in here, the 3 colours that I use. I've got some cute little owl paper. This is just off a notepad that I picked up for about 50p, and it's a perfect size to just, you know, use on the 3 rings, which saves a lot of space. Because saving space on your rings is the trick to having a compact, believe me. Then I've got my flags and things in here, highlighter flags and sticky flags and things. I've got lots of, you'll notice I don't have any tabs, or I don't have tabs that you can see. I actually do have tabs, I have lots of tabs, but they're all clear. When I got my A5 penny bridge, it came in one of those slip cases, and I actually discovered that if you do it right, you can get an A5 and a regular tabbed divider out of it, on both sides, so you can get 2 of each plus a ruler. So that was really useful. But then I actually got a pack of the dashboards with the tabs anyway. I'll show you when I get there. But yeah, all of my tabs are clear dividers because I can't stand having big cardboard things stuck all over the place. So this is just my flyleaf, it's just protecting everything else, that's all. And obviously I stick post-it notes and things on there if I need to. This is one of Robin Marie Smith's art pop cards. I just really like the design, so I popped it in there as a kind of cover sheet. It doesn't quite fit, but I don't mind, because it's behind the divider, it doesn't really matter. So it's just there for, you know, I stick sticky notes on the back of there rather than having them on here where they can get rumpled up and things and get caught on here. It's just easier to put them there. This is my, is this how you want to feel? This is my reminder sticky note. I'm doing next year I'm going to be going through Danielle Laporte's Desire Map book, and it's all about setting goals according to how you want to feel. So that is the big question that she asks all the time. The way you feel now, is that how you want to feel? So I put that kind of as a reminder to myself, because I see it every day. I may put it on the back of there, actually. Might be better on the back of there. I don't know. I might even put it on the front of here. Haven't decided. Still setting up. I've got a little zip wallet which I'm just using for coupons, receipts, anything like that, because obviously I have to keep all my receipts for work and things. Anything that doesn't have, you know, if I'm out and about and I don't have my hole punch with me, anything I can't actually stick or put into the rings, then I just shove it in there, and when I get home I sort it out. So obviously I've been out and about the last few days, so I've got bus tickets and things that I need to put into my taxes, and I leave them in there until I actually physically take them out and log them into my accounts, and then I file them away. I don't take them out of here and put them somewhere else, and then take them out of there and put them somewhere else. No, that's how things get lost. They stay in there, and eventually this will get so full that I will have to do something with it, and then, you know, it'll get sorted. Oh, personal information. I've got my notable dates here. Now I keep the notable dates because my classes are international. Now this is an old one, it's 2009, 2010, because it's got my personal information on the back. But I do have another set of notable dates which are current, because teaching internationally, I like to know, you know, when, for instance, Canada Day is, or, you know, all that sort of stuff. I like to know when my students are going to be having holidays that they will celebrate, because I have no idea when Memorial Day is, so I like to know in advance so I can plan my classes accordingly. Then, to save some space, I have a year planner. Now I use my year planner, as you might suspect, mostly for planning classes and big events like holidays, or marking off periods when I've been sick, or, you know, I also put if I've got important payments, I put little cards. This is a little card symbol. I've got birthday cakes where there's birthdays. I don't need something that tells me whose birthday it is on June the 16th. I know whose birthday that is, but I do need to be reminded that there is a birthday on June the 16th. So I just put a little birthday sign, you know, just to show. I've got a little bat for Halloween. Yellow is very important days that I must not forget, and I don't need to know what they are on here because I've written them into my planner. I have no idea what either of those two were, but if I went back to my planner for last year, or for this year, it's still 2013. If I went to my 2013 daily calendar for October 15th, there will be a big yellow thing saying, do not forget this under any circumstances, this is really important. And quite often they're recurring appointments, or they're recurring things like July 31st is actually, that's one of the dog's vet visits. That's her 6-monthly checkup, I happen to know that. And then these orange ones are my classes, so from there right the way through to there was Cherubs and Crones, and then from there right the way through to there was Summer Long, and then from there right the way through to there was Christmas Chronicles 2013. And that just lets me know, you know, so I don't double book myself for anything, or I don't triple book myself. Like for instance, that week I was on holiday and it was not movable, it was already booked. So I set up something else for that week, so somebody else would be, you know, all of the information would be there, but somebody else would be kind of babysitting the class for me that week. I had one of my joint instructors help me out that week, and I'm doing the same with this year's class. Now this year's class, I've got 2014 on the back. I printed this off, it was either Filofaxy or My Life All in One Place, I'm not sure, one of the two. It's a really simple printable thing, you print it out, you cut it down and ta-da, it's done. And I printed 2013 on one side and 2014 on the other. to save space, because, you know, real estate is very important in these compacts. And I've got a year-long class here. I've got 2014 Christmas Chronicles in December. I'm going to be doing another one here, but I need to not double book myself. And I'm doing the same thing again in July. I'm having some time off, but I've booked somebody else to take over the class for that week. Or, you know, not take over the class, but she's going to be doing the videos and things, so I can take a break. I've got a trip coming up, a personal trip. So I have to make sure that I've planned all my class material for that week and for the week after before I go, and got it all uploaded and ready and it's finished and done. So I have to, you know, I use this kind of as an overall planner. I also use it for recurring appointments, like I've got birthdays written in here because I don't have that many birthdays to remember. I've just written them in here this year. And then I've got things like payment dates, for my Vimeo, when my Vimeo's due, when my website is due for payment, when I need to renew a domain name, things like that. I will put them on here even if they're not due this year. Like my domain names aren't due this year because I paid them last year and they're 2-year domain names. So I will put them in here, but I will put them in as non-highlighted. They won't be important dates, they'll just be ordinary black dates that I will know about. So that when I come to do 2014 next year, I can just refer from this one rather than having to go back to 2013, if that makes sense. So for the end of the year, I just used whatever planner I happen to have. I happen to have some spare 2013s because my flatmate bought a Filofax for a family member for Christmas, and it happened to have the 2013 calendar in it, so she took that out. She asked me if I wanted it, and I rescued it for December rather than buying a whole new calendar, which is just ridiculous for 1 month. I'm still using my same system overall, my bullet journal system, but I've kind of integrated it with my Get Things Done system. What I'm doing now, because what I found was I was putting things in here according to the bullet journal system, but then it would be, because they weren't important things, they were getting left, and they were, you know, 3 or 4 months later, I was still referring back to finding things that hadn't been moved. So instead of doing that, what I'm now doing is using this to set up my daily planning. And my bullet journal system is in here. I'll show you this later. So this is my GTD bullet journal type thing where I just write down everything that I have to do. I jokingly call it Get Things Bulleted. So if I have to do something, I put it in here. Whether it's got a date, whether it's got a deadline, whether it's got anything, it doesn't matter, it goes in there. Then when I come to plan my day, I refer to this to decide what I'm going to do. I'm still using my same colour coding, so orange is my classwork, purple is personal, green is finance, blue is admin and other work for the business. Pink is blogs, vlogs and art. Yellow is really important things I must not forget, or reference material that I must not lose. Now, what I've started doing with those is, like, for instance, I've got reference material here that I cannot lose. It's to do with customs clearance and things which I will need for my taxes. Now obviously with a compact I can't keep this in here indefinitely. So instead what I've done is taken a photograph of it and I've put it in Evernote, and I've labelled it as taxes, customs, December 2013, and then when I come to do my taxes I can go and check my Filofax backups just to see if there's anything that I need to check and put into the taxes. So that means that this page is finished and I don't need to keep it in here anymore. I've actually left it in for now because it's still December and I wanted to show you how I was using my diary. I'm just using the current month, but I do have December and January in here at the moment. So I was sick that week. Not a lot going on. I was sick that week, so there wasn't a lot going on. This week I was back at work, and and I was mostly catching up on classwork and doing personal stuff for Christmas and things like that. Got my last post-it date sticky. This is what I use my post-it notes for. Not just random notes, but things I cannot forget that I need to move around, because originally this was stuck on this page, and then I moved it to this page, and then I moved it back to this page, and you know, because I need to have that there, otherwise I will forget. And I still managed to forget. I still didn't manage to get stuff posted out on time. So yeah, same system. If it's ticked, if my box is ticked, it's started, or it's a work in progress, or I'm waiting on something. If it's finished, it gets crossed through. The highlights are colour coding, they're not crossings out. Okay, so here's Thursday. So I had a payment to make in green. That was a standard payment that I made on my card, so I just crossed it out. Actually, that one was cancelled, it's been moved to another date. This one, I paid it and then I waited for the confirmation to come through before I crossed it out, so it's got a work in progress because I paid it and then it got crossed out. These little notes, my flatmate works shifts and I basically worked the same shifts as her, so whatever's written there is what hours we're working. Get stamping subscription, various different things, you know, admin, video stuff, things I needed to remember to do. Once I've done it, or started it, I tick it, and then once it's finished, I cross it off. So for instance, this one, email Courtney. Well, obviously if I'm emailing Courtney, I'm waiting for an answer as well. So work in progress, I ticked it to say, yes, I've emailed her, but I'm still waiting for her to get back to me. Once she got back to me, I crossed it off. And then I got just little notes, you know, buy cat food, that sort of thing. Okay, so that's how my system works. And then when I've got videos to do, I'd started editing the videos. So, you know, I've edited, I've uploaded, and I've edited the first one, edited the second one, uploaded the first one, uploaded the second one. So I keep a record of which ones I'm working on, so I know where I'm up to. This week has been uneventful, as you can see, because it's Christmas. I've been trying to take it easy, and I've been working on my Christmas Chronicles stuff and, you know, catching up on things. Today I've got a list of videos that I'm doing, and then that's the end of that year in that type of video planner. Now, you'll have noticed that this is a vertical planner. I detest vertical planners. I don't know why, I just don't like them. It's not so bad in the compact, I have to admit. I think it's because the rings get in the way. But I always feel like I've got more room to work if I work that way. So, that's my Today ruler. I got a clear Today ruler off eBay. Can't stand the black ones. So I'm using the WH Smith inserts. This is a UK brand. Week to view, horizontal with appointments. And to save having loads of personal information, all I've got is my name, my address, I have to put my postcode in there, and my mobile number. So if this turns up anywhere, you know, they've got my mobile number, they can just call me and let me know. So it's got the calendars, so 2014 and then 2013, 2012, because I do need to refer backwards to various dates. I do have the year planner here, but it's a hassle to keep pulling it out all the time. Plus, I find it weakens it if you keep pulling it in and out all the time. I had to reinforce the rings because it kept pulling out. So it's just handy to have these here because I can take these out and just stick it on the desk or whatever. And then I actually have two calendars. The other calendar I've got is exactly the same, but instead of week to view, it's month to a page. So this is my month to a page. Here's my first flyleaf. And when I made these, I made them so they were removable. You just punch the holes. And then I used my ruler that already had slits in it to cut the slits. So, and I have my tabs on the bottom because I use my tabs with my thumb. I don't like doing this and this. I generally prefer to use that. So anyway, and it also means that when they're sideways I can just flip it up and down that way. So I've got my month to a page, so it's got notes here, it's completely blank. This is the Filofax version. It's got last month and next month dates, and then it's got this month set up here. Now this is set up, it's very small boxes and extremely small boxes for the weekends. So this would not suit everybody, but it suits me fine because I use this for planning appointments. So for instance, these all need highlighting. These are all payments that I make on a weekly basis. I've got a dentist appointment there. I've got to put in a gallery appointment that I've made. You know, things like that. Just an overview of the month so that I know when I'm planning my days, specifically like if I'm planning several videos for a day, I don't just say, right, okay, I'm going to do all these videos today and all those videos tomorrow and completely forget that I'm out for the afternoon because I've got to go to the dentist, you know. So my month is my catch-all for appointments. Obviously I'll write them on the days as well, but this is where I plan them. And then if I've got anything that I need to push forward to next month, then I'll note them down on the notes page. And for instance, I've got, so this is February back here. Where's February gone? Oh, there's February. So this is what the calendar looks like. It's a blank page, January, blank page, February. So if I've got anything to go forward for February, I'll jot it down there. And then when I come to do February, I can simply move this to here, and I've got all my notes there, and I can put any notes here that I need. So for instance, recurring appointments. I have a recurring appointment every 4 weeks. So when I've had it here, I will make a note of it here that I need to rebook that appointment for whatever date. And then once it's done, I'll put it onto here. In between my months, I have my weekly pages, horizontal, which is set up like this. Now this is almost identical to the Midori planner I had. I'm still using my Midori planner, but I'm using it for something completely different. I'm not using it for daily planning anymore. I had to take my daily planning out of my Midori. It was all getting, work and personal was getting all mixed up again. Can't have that. So this is where I do my planning for what I'm going to do today, for the day. So for instance, I might decide right in the morning I'm going to do an hour's worth of videoing, then I'm going to do some marking of classes, then I'm going to do admin in the afternoon, or you know, I might have an appointment in the morning and then I'll work through lunch, and then I'll do some personal stuff in the afternoon, and then in the evening I'll do a couple of videos or a vlog or something, and I'll put those down there and I just write in what it is. I don't plan exactly what it is or how I'm going to do it in here. I do that in my A5. So for instance, I might put, well, let me go back to today, because I've got 2 months and here it's a bit confusing. But today, you know, I've got Filofax Luxe video, Filofax A5 Penny Bridge video. I don't need to write notes about what that video is, because if I go to my A5, I've got a video section, and I'll have Filofax Luxe, and then I'll have a list of things that I need to remember. I've actually got them there on my teleprompter, so that I don't forget to mention them as I go through. So that is my month, and I think this will work for me because I can put work and personal. I can plan what hours I'm going to work. So this is the equivalent of somebody putting in shifts and saying, right, I'm working 2 till 10 there, but I'm saying, right, from 2 till 4 I'm going to do this, and 4 till 8 I'm going to do this, and I'll finish at 9. So I've got an hour there to do admin or something. And then I've got the rest of the year monthly in here. So I've only got one set of monthly weeks. I've only got January. Obviously I've got December in there as well at the moment because we're in a crossover, but as soon as this week's finished I'll take December out, and then I've just got January in here. And if I've got anything that needs carrying forward to February, I'll simply note it on there. And then when I move to February, take this out, put February's in, and I can allocate things then. So this is more for forward planning than anything else, and I can go through and put in regular occurring appointments and notes, and don't forget to do 6 monthly checkup at the vet's due this month and all that kind of thing. And then I've got my notes section, and this is one of the Filofax dividers. It's actually got a very small tab on the side, so I'm using this for my notes section, and this is just general notes. This is working on my word for 2015, something I've got for journal junkies, a quote I liked. I've got some sketch notes in here from classes, things like that. Just odd bits and pieces that probably won't stay in here. They're just temporary notes. I've also got my TV list because I don't have anywhere else to put it, so I've got my TV list of things that I'm watching at the moment and where I'm up to. I've got some doctor's stuff there. I've got a world map. I don't know why I've got a world map in here, but I just like it. I just do. It adds a bit of colour to it. I quite like it. I've got no reason for it, no use for it, although the time zones is handy to know. And then at the back, to protect the rings, because obviously it's very, very thin. That's all you can fit in it, in the rings. If I put any more in it, as soon as I open it, it all starts bouncing out. To protect the rings at the back, the paper at the back from the rings, I've got my little top-loading envelope, and this is just basically stickers that I use. So I've got my sticky dots, I've got some of these moleskin diary stickers, I've got some highlighter stickers, and I've got my priority stickers, my VIP yellow ones, and some ring reinforcements. So basically, if I don't need it, it's not in here. It's that simple. If it's not essential to what I do and I don't use it or I don't need it, it's not in here. Just got a couple of paper clips stuck on there. Oh, my ring reinforcements, put those back in there. And I haven't got a whole set of ring reinforcements, I've just got a sheet. And when I run out, I'll put another sheet in there. I don't see the point. Anything like, it's like my post-it notes at the front. I haven't got a whole set of post-it notes. I just took a section off and then I turned the last one around. Happened to have used half of that one, but I turned the last one around and stuck it back to back so that the back one is not sticky. And then I've just popped it in there. So I've only got like maybe 10-15 post-it notes altogether. I don't need any more than that. I can get some more when I need them. I'm not going to run out of post-it notes. So then at the back they've got another of these long pockets and 2 more card slots. I don't really use these, I've just got odd bits and pieces in there that I don't want to lose. My library card should be in there, but I don't know where it is. This is my catch-all for my GTD bullet journal, get things bulleted system. And what I'm doing with this is literally every time I think of something I need to do, I put it in here. This stays next to me all the time. I even take it and put it next to the bed. It's, you know, oh, I must remember to do that. Oh, I need to check if we've got any cat food. I need to do such and such. I need to email somebody about this. I need to, oh, I mustn't forget to look at that class. I've got this book to read. I must pay that. Everything goes in here. And what I'm doing is I've put, you notice on this page I've put the ticks, the boxes on one side, and on this side I've put the boxes on the other. That's so that when I flip through, I'll be able to see really easily if I've got anything on that page that still needs doing. See, anything that's crossed out is done. Anything that's got a tick but it's not crossed out, it's started. So this, like one of my classes that I was doing, I've started it but I haven't finished it. I've got another one there, a registration form that I need to do. I've ticked it because I've got the registration form but I haven't filled it out yet, so I haven't crossed it out. And at some point, you know, I'll allocate that, but it's not desperately urgent, so I don't need to do it today. But, you know, just sometime when I'm going through, going, oh, what have I got in here that I can get rid of? I can go, oh, I can do that now, during one of my hours of admin that I've got sitting around. So, yeah, this is just a very thin book. It's like 20 pages. It's really thin, because what I've found with this compact is that you can actually fit a lot more into the journal, into the case, than you can actually fit in the rings. Like the rings are stuffed. You can't put anything more in the rings because the minute you open them, everything falls out. So that's maximum capacity on the rings, really. I may be able to fit some more in, but I'd never be able to open it again because it would just all bounce out as soon as I did. But look at all this space. You know, even when it's closed, I can get my hand in there. So as long as it doesn't interfere with the rings, I can put stuff in this pocket that's quite bulky. So I've just got some larger stickers in there that I use and a couple of postcards, and then I've slotted this book into the back, and you can see it takes up space in the case, but it's not obtrusive, it's not in the way of the rings, and it's not causing problems with this. So instead of having note paper in here to write all this stuff down, and I've just got one of these little booklets, and I've got so many of these. I've got moleskin booklets this size and all sorts, or you could just make yourself one out of a couple of bits of paper. So it's really not anything to this. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sheets. It's a 20-page booklet. And then on the back here I've just got a bulldog clip with some of my things to do pages. I don't always use them as things to do, I sometimes use them as notes, but it's just handy to have a few bits of scratch paper, because like I said, I don't want to always be opening my Filofax and taking out note paper all the time, because everything falls out. As soon as I open this, unless I hold it like that, everything comes out. So I don't want to keep opening this to use note paper, so I've just got some there if I need to write anything down. And then, as I said, I've got these 2 pockets at the back. I've just got my sketchbook reference number, and my my library card should be in there, but I don't know what I've done with it. I'll put it away somewhere. So yeah, that's my Filofax Luxe. I love it. It's beautiful. I love the colour. I love the texture. I love everything about it. It's a lovely size. It's not heavy because I can't stuff it full of things. And it just works perfectly for me as a journal and a notebook without a lot of bulk, but that I can still put things into and add to and move things around as and when I want to.